Rough day you had there, Mr. Gary Gensler. And we caught it all as the world was watching. Hi and welcome back, everybody. Hope you all had a fantastic day. Certainly had a big day today watching Gary Gensler squirm like a fish out of water, and we got it all for you here today. We've got that and more. If you like talking about XRP, XLM, digital assets, and getting crypto updates, drop an X in the comment section below. Smash that like button, and of course share this content. Let others around the world know exactly what is happening in this digital revolution, starting with this Coinbase. 52 million Americans own crypto, which should be front page news, but it's not, right? In the meantime, it's back page, quarter page news in the Washington Post today and tomorrow. Stand with crypto. They can't keep crypto quiet forever, I said. Adoption is certainly happening. Now, Eleanor Tarrett's been doing a great job keeping us all up to date. Says new. Now, this came out yesterday. Gary, you got mail. All GOP members on the House Financial Services Committee sent a letter to Gary Gensler ahead of the hearing today demanding SEC Gov halt rulemaking until the agency examines cumulative impact and allows time for public to comment. Then Coinbase also put America is waking up to crypto. And I think finally we are. Now, is it too late? Because the rest of the world's moving along. Wake up, Mr. Gary Gensler. We are about to get into some pretty cool stuff here. Pro-crypto lawmakers blast Gary Gensler for loyalty to big banks. We already knew what he's been up to, why he's doing all this, why he's stalling so they can try to put out their own tokens, the big banks that he's actually been working for forever. At Wednesday's hearing, Congressman Tom Emmer told the SEC chair that he is not an impartial regulator for crypto. Now, speaking of the big banks, I think a lot of people are getting it a little confused. Big banks creating their own tokens like Citi. Yes, they're going to do this, and a lot of people are saying, hey, this is just another form of a CBDC without calling it a CBDC. But listen very closely to what this lady here has to say representing Citi.
For Citi token services for cash and for trade. So now what we can do is we can move tokenized deposits around Citi's corridors. Right now it's just US and Singapore with aspirations of adding another 3 to 5 in the next near term. Well, it's great that we have this internal token, but our clients don't want a Citi token or another bank token. What they want is cross-bank, cross-border liquidity. So it's key that now that we have the infrastructure of the platform built internally, we work with like Regulated Liability Network and other participants about how do we solve these difficult issues as an industry. And there's still a lot of questions out there, but this FMI that RLN aspires to be is extremely positive because it.
So how do you solve it? You solve it with XRP and XLM. And as she said right there, the clients do not want a Citi token, just as much trash as cash. But they need that internal token to work with a bridge asset like XRP, XLM that can provide liquidity and actually do cross-border payments. They know that. We know that. The world is moving ahead in that direction. Let's get straight into this, starting off with a straight banger. Tom Emmer. Absolutely love this gentleman. We got to listen to every word of this guy.
Mr. Chair, Chair Gensler, I have a series of questions that require a yes or no answer. And in the interest of my limited time, I'd appreciate it if you would comply with that. Mr. Gensler, is it fair to say generally that large institutions in any given industry benefit more from regulatory uncertainty than everyday market participants or smaller institutions who don't have the scale or the capital to fund expensive compliance teams?
Large institutions could benefit from uncertainty.
Reclaiming my time. The answer is yes, sir. Mr. Gensler, you had an 18-year career at Goldman Sachs where you were partner and co-head of finance, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And is it correct to say that you made most of your personal wealth directly through your employment at this bank, Goldman Sachs?
I've done well since then, too, sir.
What a sleazeball. Look at that sleazy, stupid smile as he says, I've done pretty well. That's just disgusting.
I'll take that as a yes as well. You described the SEC under your leadership as the cop on the beat watching out for our constituents, correct?
I think that's a mandate that Congress...
Yeah, and I think you've said that, reclaiming my time. The answer is yes, sir. If you could just comply with what I've asked, I'd appreciate it. But given your
Listen, how many times does he have to just say, look, I'm looking for a yes or a no? Not a beat around the bush like you always do, but a yes or a no.
18-year career at one of the biggest banks in the world and the personal financial fortune you amassed there, do you think it's possible for you to serve as an impartial regulator and not favor large financial intermediaries?
Absolutely, sir.
Well, Mr. Gensler, do you believe the vast majority of digital assets meet the investment contract test and are therefore securities operating illegally outside of the U.S. regulatory umbrella?
As I've said, many of these assets are basically the public is anticipating
Sir, is that
profits
a yes?
based on the efforts of others.
Is the answer then yes?
Again, without prejudging anyone, I do think that the significant
Reclaiming my
majority
time.
are
I'll take it as a
investment
yes.
contracts.
And to be clear, sir, this perspective has nothing to do with a concern you noted in a speech last year where you said, quote, over the past year, several bank executives have shared their concerns with me about the sheer number of depositors who have moved money from their bank accounts into crypto-related exchanges and wallets, end quote. Right?
The concern that those bank executives raised was that there's
Again, I'm reclaiming my time,
customers
sir.
were getting
No,
hurt.
I've asked you to answer the questions as short as I can so I can use the time I have, and it's clear that you would like to avoid answering the questions, in my opinion. An Obama-appointed judge in the Southern District of New York, a bank...
Now, how disrespectful is Gary Gensler? Not Emmer, right? He just wants a yes or a no. Gary Gensler just cannot give him a yes or no.
Friendly jurisdiction where you bring most of your cases recently found that decentralized financial technology, quote, not only removes the so-called middlemen from these transactions, but it also allows users to interact through a variety of methods in an easy and efficient manner, end quote. The court also said underwriters like the ones at banks where you work, sir, are, quote, precisely the types of individual roles that decentralized exchanges were designed to eliminate, end quote. Mr. Gensler, can you assure this committee that your style of regulation by harassment towards digital asset innovation is to the benefit of every American and not driven by your desires to protect industry incumbents?
This is a field that's rife with fraud and manipulation, and I'm looking out for the American investors who've been hurt by the crypto.
Yeah. I'll reclaim my
Yeah,
time.
not what
Mr.
he's
Gensler,
asking.
despite your years of rhetoric, like today, I'm convinced you are not an impartial regulator. Instead, it's clear that you are working to consolidate your own power, even though it means crushing opportunities for everyday Americans
Bingo.
and, frankly, the financial future of this country. Even the federal courts are highlighting the damage you, sir, are doing to our constituents, and they're telling you that you don't have the legal authority to accomplish your goal of squashing competition in the financial markets.
Yes, sir.
Congress has been telling you that too. Now, Mr. Gensler, I believe our great financial system is the definition of freedom in this country. And congressional policies must provide room for the traditional financial system to evolve alongside the disruptive digital asset ecosystem. That said, it cannot be understated that a common theme throughout your career, sir, is your relentless loyalty to the largest financial institutions at the clear expense of innovation, competition, and everyday Americans.
Bingo.
I suspect some large financial institutions would not agree with that.
There's no question, sir. I've yielded back my time.
I suspect he is the biggest scammer there is out there. Why? Because, as he said, he's trying to stifle innovation. He's trying to crush innovators. He's trying to crush this entire industry. So why? So he can help the fat cats on Wall Street like he has all along, the big banks that he is essentially working for. Now, don't go anywhere because I got more gems for you. Check this one out.
Your view on Bitcoin, you've made comments on this. You believe Bitcoin is not a security. Is that true?
Well, I think the staff of the SEC have also, and the prior
Well,
chair.
I'm just asking you this question. This is not a gotcha. I thought there's going to be an easy softball into harder questions. Do you think Bitcoin is a security?
No, I think I've said this in the past that I think that it doesn't
I'm asking
meet
you
the
to
Howey
answer
test.
my question now. This is not supposed to be hard.
I know. I said it
Just
does
answer-
not meet the Howey test, which is the
Okay.
law of the land about being
So
investment
it doesn't meet the Howey test. So therefore, it's a commodity. Is that fair?
I would say it's not a security, and then the test is otherwise for other
Okay.
laws.
Your view on Bitcoin,
I love how he just looks at him with like straight disgust. Like, this is not a hard question. Why do you have to make this so hard? Oh, I know why. Because you can't tell the truth. You can't just be straight with American public. This may be the best, and I saved this for the last. I want to leave you with this. I also want to say thank you for all your support here as of lately. We are getting closer, whether you can see it or not. Guys, gals out there, I'm excited for where we are going. We can clearly see the tone, the direction this is going in, and Gary Gensler's days are numbered. I'm going to leave you with this. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the content on your way out. I absolutely love it.
You know, frankly, your time as chairman has highlighted two problems, a Gary Gensler problem and a structural flaw in the SEC. And as I told you in April, I proposed a solution called the SEC Stabilization Act. You're making the case for this bill easier every day you are acting as the chairman by doing rulemaking after rulemaking without any regard to the impact of these rules, or maybe that's the feature for you, I don't know. But it's having a massive impact on our markets. I mean, we have markets that truly are the envy of the world, and why would you disrupt them with processes that are driving capital out of our markets? Not because to avoid our laws, but to find some place where they can get clarity, where they can work with a regulator and get a decision in a path forward. So instead of selectively applied, you're not providing clarity with a rule that's evenly applied. You're intentionally shortening comment periods to limit feedback. And the courts have even called this arbitrary and capricious. You're pushing a woke political and social agenda, and I think abusing your role in the authority of the SEC as cover. So, I think fundamentally the SEC Stabilization Act would remove the role of chairman. It would preserve the current commissioners, but it would add a sixth commissioner. So there would be no more than 3 from any one political party. And so that would provide a path that would make the SEC do what you're avoiding. Frankly, you're front-running Congress, you're front-running the courts, you're front-running even the own administration, and no one has held you to account for that. I mean, I wish the Biden administration would say you're fired, but the list of folks they need to do that for is long. Congress hopefully will with the SEC Stabilization Act. I yield.
Gentleman's time's expired.